A 100,000 person company did an employee survey, and in that survey they found out that their people felt 44% well-led. So they implemented a multi-million pound leadership development program, and a year later they retested their employees, and it said they felt 34% well-led. It's a drop of 10%. And I was at one of those leadership development courses, and I spoke to a manager director that was there, and I said, what do you think about that? He said, I've seen it all before. It's not the same. The biggest problem is, how am I going to have the time to do all this new stuff when I've already got loads of other stuff on my plate? And that's the problem. It's about time. But we've all got 168 hours in a week. So why are some of us really, really good at using them and some of us aren't? To answer that question, I need you to think of a leader. Leader. Who's the first person that pops into your mind? It's not a question, don't worry, it's a rhetorical one. So now think about why it is that that person popped into your mind. What is it about them that made them a leader for you? It's likely because they spend their time making things better, what I call green behavior. And green behavior is thinking about how you can make the world better, communicating with people about how you can make the world better, and then making the world better, actually going and doing it. Some of their time is spent keeping things the same. Okay? And that's managing, amber behavior. And that's monitoring to make sure that things are as they should be. And if they're not, it's about directing. You can't see that. Directing to make sure that it becomes the way it should be. Hopefully not too much of their time is spent doing. Okay? Doing is the operational stuff. This is your emails. This is your writing documents. This is all the transactional stuff. Red behavior. And if you do too much of this, it's taking time away from all the green and amber stuff. Don't want to do that. Now then, there's also what we call brown behavior. Now, brown behavior is waste. It's adding no value whatsoever, or you're not sure what value you're adding. Now, hopefully, the really, really great leaders are also living, okay? And this is either not working during working hours, so flexibly working, big topic today, or it's outside, taking time out, getting some downtime. But how can we tell how much of this we're actually doing where the great leaders are? This is one of the managing directors from that 100,000 person company. And you can see their diary, okay? There's no double booking, everything looks the same, and there's gaps. But what if we put those colors onto that diary? Well, it looks like this, okay? And what you're going to see is that all of the gaps have now been filled in. Generally, filling in gaps happens with brown and red behavior, taking you backwards. But the predominant color here is amber, keeping things the same. So now we've got a hint as to why those people weren't feeling very well led. This person was a C-level leader, so they should be spending 80% of their time green, making things better, and only 20% of it amber. No red, no doing, and no floating. So given that one day is 20%, this person should have been spending 4 days a week making things better. 1 day a week keeping things the same, managing risk, maintaining status quo. No doing, no floating. But if you look at the background, what they were actually doing is only 1 day a week was spent making things better. The rest of their time, with the majority happening about things making the same. And now we're really getting to the crux of it, because now we know exactly why their people weren't feeling well led, because they weren't doing this stuff. 45% of their time was amber, and that was making sure that key projects were being delivered. They were checking and checking and checking, versus the 20% it should have been. Knowing that, you're probably asking, have you got the right people doing those things for you, or do you have a trust issue? 20% of their time, one day, where they should have been doing nothing, was sending emails and taking on issues and tasks that other people should be doing. They weren't delegating enough. Nearly 1 day of their week was spent floating, going to meetings where they added no value, and they weren't challenging the person that was running the meeting. Why not? Because it was their boss, and they didn't want to upset them. Now, the only way this is all going to get better is by green stuff, but with only 20%, 1 day a week spent making things better, versus the 4 it should have been, it's pretty clear that this is never going to get better unless things change. When they were confronted with this information, they said, but we're different. And there you have it. There's the real issue, because really good leaders, all the information's there in your diary. The really good leaders listen to it. The not good leaders don't. So the question is, what are you doing? And what are your people doing? Are they being leaders? Well, the answer's in your diary. All you have to do is add a little bit of colour and you'll find out.